Do you want to know more about model railroad scenery? Why don't you stick around and watch this video and see how we do it on my unscheduled model railroad, the Sayrehurst Secondary. Hello everyone, Joe from Central Jersey, Conrail, and Inscale. Welcome back to the Scenery Playlist. So this time on the Scenery Playlist, we're going to be planting our trees that we made last time together. So I put together this video just to show you how the layout progresses and the dramatic effect of adding trees. I couldn't believe it until I actually started doing it and looking at the scenes. I'm like, it looks like a whole different layout. I made about 100 armatures, and at first I started to think, I don't think I'm going to have enough. But then I started working, and about halfway through, I'm like, yeah, definitely not going to have enough. And then all of a sudden, as I wrapped up, I had about 20 or 25 less. So I'm like, okay, that's good. So I was able to go back and hit some of the other areas, like over by the engine facility. There needed a few more in there. The other thing was I realized that the Dayton Secondary out in the family room had no trees. I inadvertently skipped through that. So I went over there and put a few out there. And yeah, it was just the right amount. I could make some more and really fill in the gaps, but you know what? I'm kind of all after. It's a lot of work getting up and down that ladder. You'll see me in this video going up and down, planting these trees. I was tired. So, and I was just tired of looking at trees. So, I'm just gonna leave it. I'll let it soak, and I got a lot more details to put in, and you'll see over the next coming videos that I have a lot of other work, and as we go through, if I find some areas that need some, more work, I'll touch it up as I go. But I'm not going to make any more trees until the next section, and I'll make a bunch more, and then I'll just work backwards and fill in gaps that I find, and kind of just let it soak in and think about it. So, all right. So why don't we just cut over to the video, watch the video, and I'll talk to you afterwards, and enjoy. Alright everyone, so let's get started. We're going to start planting trees here on the peninsula. So in this video, there's not going to be too much commentary. I'll jump in every so often when I have something to say. Pretty much we're just going to go along and work in each area. I usually drill a hole or poke a hole through the scenery, stick the armature in, and then use some crazy glue and some zip kicker to hold it in place. And that's it. Just work along. Take a step back, think about it, and come back up and put some more trees in. So, sit back and enjoy. So in this section here, I'm just trying to stick true to the prototype, the area that I'm modeling, thinking about where the trees were before they got cut down, because I just, from memory of being in that area for so long. The main thing here, though, was to block that end of the backdrop there on the corner. Make sure I built a wall so it doesn't, your eyes don't pick up on it. So kind of visual trickery. And just working through the scene and trying to make it as best as possible to my recollection of what the prototype looked like. So as you watch me work along here, you'll notice these armatures, these trees. I'm handling them, I'm putting them down, I'm picking them up, and that 3M spray adhesive really is holding that flocking on, so it's not really falling off as much. This train here is my most reliable train. These two U-25Bs and these coal cars just run flawlessly for hours upon hours without ever an issue. Just so great to just let it out and it just keeps on going. Okay, so now we're over into Englishtown. My main goal here is to kind of just hide the edge of the backdrop here and then blend these two scenes between Agway and Englishtown together with tree lines, because there were kind of a lot of trees in between those buildings there. Didn't want to obscure the house too much because I have ideas for a little backyard scene with some figures that I have, and just kind of blending in the area around the Manalapan Lake. Now, I didn't get too close to Manalapan Lake or the canal with the trees right now because I have to do my pour for my resin. So that's going to be coming up very soon, and then once that's done, I'll make a group of trees and we'll go back and just fill in that area. Alright, so right around here is where I took a break. I had to go do some errands. Before I left, I had taken some pictures and posted up on Facebook asking for some help because something just wasn't jiving. It didn't look right. And one of the followers commented back, hey, you know, you should put something on the backdrop, some trees or something, or paint something to bring the scene so it extends out through the backdrop. And I was like, oh, that's the problem. So you'll notice in some of the later shots that I actually went in and put some pictures of tree lines up on, and that kind of really made it really connect. So just look out for that later. So I was very pleased with the outcome over here. A lot of people had been questioning, what am I going to do with that hole? And this was always the idea from the get-go, was just surrounded by trees and foliage and kind of just obscure the hole. Now I will say, I'll put a little disclaimer in there. Towards the end, you'll see on the Brown's yard side, there is one little spot where I missed a tree. So that's a mental note for when I make my next batch. I got to put the first one in there to block it. You'll see what I mean later on. Okay, everyone, so there you go. That's how we did it. Yeah, like I said in the beginning, it makes a big difference. Really, really happy with the layout now. It's very enjoyable. You know, after filming all these segments and videos and stuff, I had some time to just run some trains and, you know, watch them go through the scenes now with the trees. It makes a heck of a difference, and it's really enjoyable. In fact, I just was down here for about an hour just running the train, walking through the scenes, and yeah, really, really happy. So a couple things I learned this time around compared to the first time, because the first time with the super trees, it was kind of just a blur, and I really didn't know what I was doing. If you watch that old video, you'll see, like, I made a lot of, things. I did a lot of things that could have been done a lot better. I would say that. First off, I think painting the trees green before flocking them was so much better, because I'm even looking over here in Sayrehurst, some of the older trees where I had the color, well, the flocking had fallen off, so now you see like the undercoat, which was either red or gray, showing through, whereas now with these, if the flocking falls off, it's showing green. So, but the new process of making these trees with that 3M77 adhesive, man, that stuff sticks so much better than the matte medium. I don't know what I was doing wrong with the first group of trees, but yeah, the second group is much better. They're more hardy. You can bump them and they don't really fall off. And also, the first group of trees that I did, I had this vision that I was looking for, where the tree goes straight to the ground, and I put the trees in, and there was this gap where I had to come back and fill it in with ground cover and all that stuff, and I was like, it doesn't really work, and yeah, just cut the trunks off, take them right down to the ground, and you can see the difference on this group. You take that, just snip it off and put it right flush with the ground. That's so much less work that you have to build up to make that curtain of foliage. So yeah, very happy with this progress. And next time I make trees, there's just really one stand of trees left here in Sayreville. It needs a little work. I'll just throw in some more armatures, and that should make that better. Lastly, for end scale, when I started, I was like, I need big armatures and all that stuff, so I was getting the big ones and all that, but actually the smaller ones were just perfect. Some of these trees, like these are really big and full, but like even these little shorties in here are much more useful. So for end scalers, don't think you have to have the biggest armatures in there. It's okay to have a bunch of small ones because you can work them into the scene. And still, this is, that's pretty tall. That's 60 feet tall or so. And compared to the big ones, I get some of the big ones, they're like 80 feet, 90 feet. So yeah, so don't be so hung up on that, and just work through your box and get a lot of the big ones and small ones, so you can work them all in together. And the last thing that was kind of just like a duh moment was, you get all them armatures that you break off to shape the tree to fit in the scene, or they fall off naturally and they're all left laying around. And previously I took all those and threw them in the garbage. Wow. No. Take those little armatures and I just stuff them in like these little bald spots or holes and stuff, and you don't even have to glue them. I'm just sticking them in, like, just threading them into the ground foam, and wow, that makes a heck of a difference. And that's so much less money that you got to spend for the fancy foliage to go on the ground. I just use the armatures to fall off, and if you got a few trees left, don't try and stick them somewhere. Break them up, make them into little pieces, and shove them in. And that made the difference over there in Jamesburg on the Y, to block up that hole, was putting all that stuff in underneath to kind of really obscure that hole. So yeah, now that I got the process down, I'm not too scared of super trees now. They're fun. It's a daunting task when you're doing 100 or 200 at a time, but it's fun. You get your process down and do like an assembly line, and get putting them into the layout, and it makes a heck of a difference. So if you're just starting out for the first time, you're building a layout, just buy that box, buy that starter kit, and give it a shot, and I don't think you'll ever buy another commercial tree again. Last thing, I know I have said it in previous videos, and I've been saying it all along, is that I wanted to do the candy tuft trees like Tony Bone. I wanted to do candy tuft, and I couldn't find it. Tony, if you're watching the video and you comment, I couldn't find any vendors that had it in stock. I went through 5 or 6 floral vendors and hobby vendors online. They listed it, but it's out of stock. And one person, I sent messages to 2 of them. They didn't even respond back. And the third person responded back and said, sorry, we don't have it. And I don't know when we're getting it. So I'm like, okay. So I kind of just skipped those Candy Tough trees for now. If I get my hands on some Candy Tough and I do some trees, and I'll do a video on that. The other thing is going to be looking down south. So if you can see here, this is Freehold. Once we get south of this curve here, that's the Lakewood. That's kind of the transition in New Jersey on the shore, is once you get to Lakewood and goes south, it kind of transitions from the green deciduous trees over into the pines and the evergreens. What I've been doing a lot of research is that, you know, down in South Jersey, there's the pitch pine, and it's a very unusual type of pine tree, and I can't find any kind of like kits or anything to do, so I think I'm going to pretty much be doing it from scratch. I was looking at spinning some wire in, making custom trees by using wire and floral tape. So yeah, that's going to be a whole process of experimentation. So yeah, you look forward to me doing a video on that. I'm not too sure when, maybe towards the end of the year, but yeah, it's going to come soon. All right, so what can you look forward to on the layout? Actually, thinking about in the next couple weeks, because I want to get some locomotive work done and stuff. Next couple weeks, I think we're going to start over in Tom's River. Really dying to get that scene together, and see the guy get come to life, because it's right there by the door. So when you come down the stairs, you see it. And I'm tired of looking at these white foam board buildings. So I think we'll get a video together of me prepping the area. I got kits. It's all going to be kits, except for the Building 105 is going to be a scratch build. And that's a fairly straightforward scratch build. That shouldn't take too long. Kits, I'm looking at Walther's kit, 2 Walther's kits, and possibly a DPM or the Woods Furniture kit. Kind of do a kit bash on that. And then lots of details. Ooh, that's going to be a long, lengthy, pricey endeavor. I need tanks, pipe racks, pipes everywhere. It's going to be big. So yeah, so I'm thinking about starting that very soon. So you can look forward to a video coming out on that. And then once we get that kind of either going or finished or wrapped up, and then getting back over here at Freehold, I got to scratch build the Route 9 bridge, then the lumber buildings, and then after that, I think we're going to stop and we're going to rip out the main. Yeah, it's all going to come out from Toth all the way down to Lakehurst. Just not happy with it. I want to relay it in new turnouts. I'm going to do fast tracks. I didn't account for enough gap over there on the main for Route 88 to come across, because there's 2 turnouts like this. So it's like too close. I got to space them back. So I'm just going to rip it out and relay it. So that's going to be a whole video in itself. And then we'll be able to pretty much do Lakewood, Lakehurst. That should be the end. We can only dream. Okay. So that's all I got for you this time. If you like what you're seeing and you're seeing this for the first time, please subscribe to the channel. We'd love to have you following along. Make sure you check us out on Facebook and Instagram. And otherwise, that's all I have for this time. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.